My name is Joe, and I'm probably reading. If I'm not, I must be sleeping and dreaming of books.
All right, so I finally did it. I finally read every book in the Stephen King library. And the last book was this, Elevation. It's a tiny little book, 160 pages. Why did it take me so long to get there? Last year, other than the new book that came out, there were only two books that I hadn't read: The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon and Elevation. And in both cases, it was because what I was told was that they kind of suck. And I read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon last year, and it kind of sucked. It ended up in my bottom five for 2025. So I was a little hesitant to read Elevation. Internet said it sucked. 2.5 stars. This is what I saw on Goodreads. But it was 160 pages, something I could knock out in an evening. So I decided to go ahead and give it a try, expecting full well that it would suck. But I still possess the bragging rights that I've read every Stephen King book. Turns out I actually liked it. The premise probably sounds a little familiar. The protagonist, Scott, regular dude, bit on the heavy side, about 240 pounds when the story starts, and he keeps losing weight. Like, oh, like thinner? No, not at all like thinner, smart guy, because he's not getting thinner. He's staying the same size. Still has the same 42-inch waist. That's weird enough, right? But he weighs the same whether he's got his clothes on or he's wearing his big New England winter parka. Or if that parka's got quarters, rolls of quarters in the pockets, still weighs the same. Still 240 pounds. Or if he's carrying around two 20-pound dumbbells, he still weighs the same 240 pounds. Until he doesn't, because he keeps on losing weight and he sees his doctor about it. So Scott kind of realizes he's in trouble, right? If he keeps on losing weight, something's going to happen. He's probably going to die. He doesn't know. We don't know. So he decides, I want to do something good before I leave, before I'm gone, before whatever happens, happens. And the mission he decides to take on is his neighbor. Early in the book, the neighbor is letting the dog run around, do whatever they want to do, and they do in Scott's front yard. And he makes the mistake of saying something about it, and the neighbors kind of freak out. They think that he's getting on their case because they're a lesbian couple. And Scott doesn't care. He's like, no, I just don't want your dog shitting in my yard. But he decides he's going to make that right. He decides he's going to become friends with this couple. As the story progresses, he kind of finds out that part of the reason that the couple is upset is because their restaurant is failing. They just moved to Castle Rock recently and opened a restaurant, and nobody is visiting it. And Scott finds out that they're not visiting it because they don't want to support a lesbian couple. Turns out they don't really care that they're lesbians. That's fine, but they don't like the fact that they call themselves married. Well, they are married, so why wouldn't they call themselves married? I don't know. But that kind of reaction is probably what you could expect from New England, a small New England town like Castle Rock. Scott tries to befriend the couple. He has with Missy. She's not non-confrontational. She's very easygoing. She's kind of timid. Her wife, I guess, opposites attract, because Deirdre is very confrontational and not at all timid, and she pushes back hard against Scott trying to be friends. She thinks he's after something else. She thinks he's got other motivation, when in fact he's just trying to be a friend. And it takes a lot of effort on Scott's part to finally get her to come around. This, to me, is what the heart of the story is. It is about friendship and about giving people the benefit of the doubt, and that you can teach an old dog new tricks. The ending of it was pretty heart-wrenching, because you see how one person's crisis can impact close friends. So what about that sounded horrible, right? That it should be a 2-star read. I think what made it a 2 or 2.5 star for a lot of people was the fact that once again, Stephen King had to inject his political opinions in a book. And not lesbian marriage being okay, which was obviously something he was in favor of, but Trump bashing again. We know, Stephen, we know you don't like Trump. I don't like Trump either. But I don't come to a Stephen King book to read about Trump because I want to escape everything that's going on. I want to read a book and forget about everything else that's going on. So I think a lot of people are over it and just being like, dude, just cut it out. And for every book that's come out since, I don't know, in the last 10 years, Stephen King has decided that has to be part of his message. We get it. We understand. I just decided, okay, that's Stephen for you. I'm not going to let it take away from the joy I have from the story, which I really enjoyed. And I ended up giving it 4 stars. Let's take a look at that in my tier list here. So here we go. Stephen King's Elevation, I again said was 4 stars. So we'll put it right here. And I think it was better than The End of the World as We Know It, a Stephen King adjacent story. I enjoyed the read. Once again, I am putting out a song related to the story, and I've added it to a playlist I'll share below as well. This one is spoiler light. I don't think there's anything in it that is going to ruin the enjoyment of the book for you. I'll put a 15 or 20-second clip of it at the end, and I'll also put the links below. Let me know, what's your favorite Stephen King book? What's your least favorite Stephen King book? What do you think of the song? Let me know. See you later.
Scale is alive, the floor feels